It was a dream start for the Union on Saturday night in South Florida, but the ending was more of a nightmare. We'll go over the club's 3-1 loss to Lionel Messi and Inter Miami before moving on to this weekend's tilt, a home match against a team that's just above them in the standings. All that and more as Union Insider starts right now.
Takes the strike on, and it's off the inside of the post.
Ariel, who scores off the header from the set piece, flipped it in off the back post.
Hey everyone, and welcome back to another edition of Union Insider presented by Independence Blue Cross. I'm your host, Marisa, and these two need no introduction, but I'm going to introduce them anyway. Sebastian Tu and Sheanon Williams. Well, coming back from the international break, the Union had a little extra time to prepare for a road match against Inter Miami, who is currently sitting at the top of the Supporters Shield standings as the best team in MLS. Miami is a team overflowing with talent and got one of their biggest, if not the biggest piece of their team back over the weekend as Lionel Messi made his way back to the field for the first time in 3 months after dealing with an injury. So it was a fully healthy Miami team that played host to the Boys in Blue on Saturday. Let's check out how it all went down. This one could not have started any better for the Union. In the second minute, Mikel Ua gets the ball off a Miami turnover near the 18-yard box, and after faking it with his right, fires a shot with his left that Miami keeper Drake Callender can't quite save. It hits the back of the net to give the Union an early 1-0 lead and help make a statement early. The Union would stay on the front foot throughout the first 20 minutes, but couldn't convert any more chances, and that's when the GOAT struck. Lionel Messi gets a pass near the box from Luis Suarez and fakes out Kai Wagner with a shot on his left foot, goes to his right where he buries a shot past Andrew Rick to level the match at 1 in the 26th minute. 4 minutes later, Jordi Alba has the ball to the right of Andrew Rick at the edge of the box where he finds a cutting Messi in the middle. Messi one-times it with his left past a diving Rick, and just like that, Miami is in the lead 2-1, a score that the team would take into the half. Second half now, it was the Union's attack that was on the front foot of chances, and none were bigger than this one right here. In the 85th minute, Sergio Busquets coughs the ball up on his 6-yard line with Daniel Gazdag right there. Gazdag lays it off to Sam Adrian, and Drake Callender is there to stuff the chance and keep Inter Miami in the lead. Just a crucial play that the Union attack would love to have back. And then, in the final moments of the game, the ball, of course, finds Lionel Messi inside the box looking for a hat trick, but instead, he lays it off for Luis Suarez. He finishes with a beautiful ball, puts an end to this one as the Union fall to Inter Miami 3-1 and remain in 11th place in the Eastern Conference. Sheanon, you were at this game on Saturday night. What were your biggest takeaways?
It was a lack of killer instinct from the Union. I thought that they had a good game plan going in. They wanted to press Miami early on for that first 15 minutes. You saw the goal come from it. You saw them be able to create more chances, and then they lacked that killer instinct. They also ran into Messi, who turns it on so quickly and in 4 minutes pops in 2 goals and then adds an assist at the end of the game. And you saw the difference of where the two teams are. One team fighting for a playoff spot and one team in first place, and also potentially might take the Supporters Shield. So the lack of killer instinct in front of goal, I think, is something that has plagued them at different times during the year, and you saw it happen in this game.
Yeah, these are two teams very much, as you said, in different phases of their season. Seba, was this more about the Union not being able to finish or just Miami being too tough of an opponent?
No, I don't think they were too tough. I think, we know their strength, with, of course, Messi coming back. It's somebody that always can make something happen out of nothing, and he got, 2 goals very quickly in the second half. I think, the team played well. Like Sheanon said, the first 20 minutes, I think, was very good. We should have maybe be up 2-0, at that time because Miami was kind of sleeping. But then when you have the guys, and we talk about it, the past week, like making sure that we know where Alba, is when he get the ball, when he come inside. All the goals, kind of like started with him, an assist on the second one for Messi, but the marking, defensively is still for me a little bit too much respect, of course, for Suarez and Messi, who are the 2 best players for Miami offensively. But what I will say too is like missing Andre in a goal. I think it's usually a big mental thing, for the defense, and Andre try to do his best, try to help the team keeping a good result, but when you have Andre in a goal, it's always different, for the Union. So hopefully Andre can come back, but I can see that if the Union maybe will play against Miami during the playoff and had to get a result away, away. I think it's possible. They just need to believe in themselves. They need to, put their chance away, because even at the end of the game, when it was still 2-1, the Union could have, be able to kind of get one or two mistakes of the Miami defense and be able to score the 2-2, but it didn't happen. So maybe a bit more belief, for the team, but I think it was a good test for them to see where they're at now and what they need to maybe do a little bit better if they want, to maybe eliminate Miami during the playoff.
Yeah, Miami is always a good litmus test for the Union, and the past times these two teams have met, the Union never really has shown up the way they did this past Saturday. Do you think that's a big area of growth that we've seen from the team?
Absolutely. I think that they went into the game excited about the opportunity to beat a team that's in first place and that has all these star players. Again, I thought they had the right game plan going in. I thought that they set up correctly. I thought they gave themselves the opportunities, even down 2-1, to come back in the game. And if you end up facing a Miami team in the playoffs, I think that there's some things to take away from this game that they can use in the playoffs. They need to obviously tighten up defensively and clear up some of those mistakes that they made that led to those goals, which I think, obviously, as well as Seba said, if you have Andre in goal, I think it's a different game as well. So there's some positives to take from the game, but Jim talked about it. The margin for error right now is very slim. So while you want to take the positives, they need points.
And what's the biggest thing they can take away from the offense that they showed against Miami on Saturday?
I mean, what I can see, it's, not just Miami, but the past couple of games when they play away, it's a quick start, from the teams. They are scoring, early goals. It happened, at the Red Bulls when they got 2 quick goals as well. I kind of like that, the fact that right away they're into the game and they can get the lead. Now, could they keep the lead? Could they get, a better, defensive play and not leaving too many space, especially at the end of the first half? It's something, like Sheanon says, they need now to work a little bit on to make sure they can, get a result away. But I think the positive stuff for me, it's very huge, because scoring away is very important.
Well, Seba, despite the loss, there was a very exciting moment to go over in this one on this week's Key Play of the Week, presented by Subaru. Sheanon is at the video monitor to go over Mikel Ua's goal in the opening couple minutes of Saturday's match.
Our key play this week is the dream start from the Union. It's Mikel Ua's first goal in the 2nd minute of the game. Talk about wanting to set the tempo and get off to a good start. Well, this did that. So if we play the video, it comes from a long ball. We see Ty Baribo putting some good pressure. And then it's the composure from Mikel Ua to bring it down on his chest, not only to shift it onto his right foot, but also to place it into the corner. A lot of players will go for power here. You see that he has the defender, and then he doesn't need so much power with the bodies in front of the goalkeeper. It makes it hard for him to see, and he just places it with the inside of his foot into that far corner, and the Union were off to a dream start. Unfortunately, weren't able to keep that lead, but goals like this are a welcoming sign for Mikel Ua.
We're ready to take a break on Union Insider, but first, here's our Union Trivia question presented by United Concordia. How many current Union players are in the top 10 of goals scored in Union history? Find out the answer later in the show. Welcome back to Union Insider, presented by Independence Blue Cross. While we'll go over the upcoming matchup against DC United on Sunday, the Union played a midweek match against NYCFC at Yankee Stadium on Wednesday. That match has come and gone for you, but for us right now when we're filming the show, it's Tuesday, so we don't know the result just yet. But lucky for you, our club reporter Sage Hurley does. She was at the Wednesday night match and is here to give you all the updates you need to know in this week's Union Roundup presented by Green Mountain Energy.
What's up, Union fans? I'm Sage Hurley here at Yankee Stadium, where the Philadelphia Union defeated New York City FC 5-1. With just 5 games left on the regular season schedule, every point matters, and the Philadelphia Union secured all 3 in this Wednesday night matchup. Here's how it all went down. It was Ty Baribo who opened scoring for the Philadelphia Union. Olivier Bizot followed through on a corner headed away by New York City's defense, knocking the rebound toward Baribo, who grazed it with his own head to put it past Matt Freese in net. From there, the rest of the team's front 3 matched that energy. Mikel Ua and Daniel Gazdag each scored a goal of their own, creating a dominant 3-0 lead for the visitors. New York City FC got one back right before halftime, but after regrouping in the locker room, Philadelphia Union came out strong with a momentous pair of second-half goals. Center back Jacob Glesnes scored a header in the box, and Chuchu Bueno put the cherry on top off the bench for a final 5-1 scoreline. The win took a full team effort. Not only did 5 different Philadelphia Union players score, 18-year-old goalkeeper Andrew Rick put on a man-of-the-match-worthy performance with 7 saves. One in particular made national headlines. The homegrown academy product pawed the ball out of the net in the 66th minute, and it made number 2 in SportsCenter's top 10.
I mean, yeah, it was a great performance from the guys. We all put in as much work as we could. It's unfortunate that we conceded right at the end of the first half, but we responded great and got 3 points.
This team came out with incredible energy. What were the conversations like back in Chester and in the locker room before coming out here?
We all know how important this game was for the playoff push, and it was just give everything you have for 3 points, and we got the job done tonight.
Do you have a message for the fans? We're coming up on 2 home games at Subaru Park, and they're really important ones.
We need your guys' support to get into the playoffs. We really need you guys.
That's all for this week's edition of Union Roundup. We'll see you next time.
All right, thanks, Sage. And as we mentioned before, the Union also have a game this weekend, a Sunday evening matchup against rivals DC United, and what appears to be a huge game for the Union's playoffs hopes. So naturally, we have to get our keys to the game presented by Subaru. So, Seba, what is your enlightening key to the match?
With my crystal ball, hopefully, knowing that Union got a good result in New York City FC, I think for against DC, we talk about it. For me, it's a 6-point game, but who is a player, on their team in DC United who really carries their offense is Christian Benteke. He's the leading scorer in MLS right now with 19 goals. Is, the point in the box for the DC United to find him, from crosses to, of course, short ball into the box, to have him, holding the play for them. He's been, the man for them, being healthy, being the captain. He really, helped this team, to be right now in contention for the playoff. So if Glesnes and Elliott can really mark him very well, it's going to be a tough task for both of them. But we need to make sure that Benteke doesn't find the back of the net during this game. We know he's good in a crossing, so can we stop as well, those crossing, coming from the left and right, because he's really deadly, in a 6-yard box. He can, win a lot of balls. And hopefully, the Union can do a good job maintaining, the ball service to him, and at the same time, having Glesnes and, Elliott communicate well, and hopefully we can get a clean sheet, because I think if we get a clean sheet, the Union should be able to score some goals. Usually DC, it's a game with a lot of goals. We have been a part of it with Sheanon, a little derby for the Union, but for me, if Benteke doesn't score, the Union get the win.
All right, so it's a simple concept, stop Benteke, but it's a complicated application of that concept a little bit. All right, Sheanon, how about you?
My key to the game is going to be for this Union team to capitalize on mistakes. Can they do a good job capitalizing and having that killer instinct in front of goal? They're able to create a lot of chances. Now they just need to finish those chances. The goals scored in games change the way that the game is played, and right now they're missing some of those opportunities, whether it be to go up 2-0 and really kill the game off. I think they're leaving teams in games at times, and if they can capitalize on the chances that they can create, I think that they can walk away with 3 points. This is a game that they absolutely need in DC, a team that's right ahead of them in the standings, a team that they're going to be battling with for that last playoff spot.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a perfect storm right now considering the opponent. It's a rival that always makes for really exciting games, but it's a home match where the Union haven't been playing well this season. But as you said too, which is most important, DC's right above them in the standings, so if they can get a win on Sunday evening, it's only going to boost this team a little bit more. We saw these two teams meet back in May. It was a 2-2 draw, not the prettiest game either for the Union down in DC. How can they turn things around this time around?
I mean, for the Union, it's a bit more difficult, I think, than for DC, because they play Wednesday, and DC didn't. So DC has much more time, to prepare that game, to get some rest. For the Union, it's going to be a quick turnaround. Hopefully, there's some positive coming out of the New York City FC game, so they can come at home and get, a win at Subaru Park, which I know this year has not been, easy for them to do. But like Sheanon said, it's a big game for the playoff. You win against DC, you really put yourself, in a better position to kind of finish the last 4 games of the year. And DC is a contender for, I think, one of the last place in the playoffs. So big game, hopefully a positive result, but the preparation, is going to be a quick turnaround. I think from Jim Curtis is going to see who are the most fit players to be able to get the game plan against DC.
And we said, Sheanon, it's a a very small margin of error right now. Those teams are so close at the bottom of the standings, almost getting into playoffs.
Absolutely, and the good thing about these games is they're getting a chance to control their own destiny. They're playing teams that are right in front of them, DC, Atlanta. They get to play all East Coast teams. So if they can pick up results, there's 18 points on the board that are left out there, and they need as many points as they can get to get into playoffs. So once they get into playoffs, you know that anything can happen, but they have to get there first.
Time for our Chick-fil-A Nugget of the Week. With his goal on Saturday night versus Inter Miami, Mikel Ura became the 6th player in Union history to score 30 MLS goals with the club.
I got involved in soccer when I was 3 years old because of my brother. He started playing before me, and I, went to his game one time, and they ended up telling me if I wanted to play, and I did, and ever since then, I fell in love with the sport. My favorite player growing up would have to be Messi and Neymar. Neymar for his tricks, and Messi for his magic on the ball. My favorite soccer memory as a kid would be when Barca played Galaxy at the Galaxy Stadium, and just being out there watching all the top players like Neymar, Busquets, Jordi Alba, all of them, just spending it with my family and just watching a good game. The best piece of advice I've gotten from one of my coaches was you could have all the talent in the world, but if you don't work hard, you're never gonna get where you want to be. I thought I could become a pro when I was in the U17s, GA Cup. That's kind of when I started taking things very, very seriously. And once I got with Union 2, this is the point where I want to be a pro, and this is what I want to do for the rest of my life. And my family will probably be my biggest supporter, and because they kind of pushed me, through the hard times when things weren't going my way, and they kind of just lift me up, even just trusting me for even coming here. My favorite play I have ever made was back in the academy days. I did a rainbow over a kid, and I took a touch, did a 360, and another guy came and fouled me, ended up getting the penalty and scored it. That was probably my favorite memory or favorite play that I ever did in my whole career. So I would say that one. My pregame routine / ritual, always listening to music before I head out, pray in the locker room, and then once I get out on the field, I always get my right foot on the field first, do 3 steps, and then do the sign of the cross before actually playing on the field. My favorite thing about Philadelphia probably be the fans all around the city. They're crazy, they're wild, and I'm all for it. I love when the fans are big supporters of their team, and that's kind of what I like about this city. And they're not afraid of anyone. Something people don't know about me that they should is outside of soccer, I do I sell clothes, and I like selling shoes. So outside of soccer, I'm a little entrepreneur. If people need anything, they could always come to me and hit me up about if they need some clothes or some shoes.
And now time to get caught up with some more MLS action with Around the League, presented by Torque. Don't look now, but Orlando City is coming for a top 4 playoff spot in the Eastern Conference with their dominant 3-0 victory over the New England Revolution on Saturday. They've now won 7 of their last 9 MLS matches and have climbed up to 5th in the East and are just 3 points out of the top 4. And out in Los Angeles, the City of Angels, 2 teams squared off in the latest version of the rivalry known as El Tráfico. After 2 early goals from LAFC, the Galaxy came roaring back to score 4 unanswered goals and win this one 4-2 to split the season series with their rivals. When Union Insider returns, Seba and Sheanon will give us their players to watch for Sunday's match as the Union are back at home to face DC United. Here's the answer to this week's Union Trivia question presented by United Concordia. There are 3 current Union players in the club's top 10 scoring leaders of all time: Daniel Gazdag, Mikel Ua, and Alejandro Bedoya. Do you know who's second on that list? This man right here. Right here, Sebastian Letou. So it's our final segment here on Union Insider, presented by Independence Blue Cross. And we all know, to wrap this all up, we need our all-state players to watch as the Union play host to DC United on Sunday. Who will you be watching besides Christian Benteke?
I'm going to go watch Jean-Jacques Danley. I think it's going to be a very important game, for our number 6. I hope, he's starting that game because I think with his work rate and his motor, he can really help the team connect the offense of the defense. We know DC has a strong offense to go very quickly, in counter-attack, trying to find, the feet of Benguele to hold the ball. I think if we do a good job with our center backs to kind of put pressure on Benteke and winning the second ball, Danley can be, the person right here to really help the team kind of stop the offense of DC United and then connect, with the Union forward. So a player that we didn't see start against Miami, he got a little knock, during the international day with Haiti. I really hope, he's feeling fit 100%, and we can see really what he can bring to the team and help, getting the win against DC. But defensively, it's going to be very important to have him into the midfield.
Yeah, not just on Sunday, but for the rest of the season as well. How about you, Sheanon?
My favorite segment, right?
Yeah.
For this
We're
week,
so sorry for whoever he picked.
I've got such a good record with this. My player to watch this week is going to be Glesnes. I think that Seba talked about how important it's going to be to stop Benteke, and a lot of that's going to fall on the shoulders of Glesnes. Can he be really good in the air? Can he do a good job making sure that Benteke is marked up in the box? And then can he start the attack? We've seen him be able to play some better, longer balls into the forwards and get them going. So looking for him to do it on both sides of the ball this week.
That's going to do it for this one. The Union are playing host to DC United Sunday evening, 6 p.m. You can watch that on MLS Season Pass or FS1, or if you want to listen to it, tune in 97.5 The Fanatic with Dave Leno and Sebastian Letou. For everyone here in the studio, I'm Marisa Pilla. We'll see you next time.